What's up, everybody? When God shows me something, I just have to tell people about it. So that's what this video is this morning. And if that's not what you care about, then go ahead, keep scrolling. Love you. Have a good day. But I got to share this with people who are willing to listen. God showed me something today, blew my mind, answered a prayer, connected a big dot. Here we go. I bought a new truck. That's not a brag. I just have it there for context. I bought a new truck, and in this new truck, there is a interesting feature. So it has the original feature where the vehicle beeps at you if you don't have this guy on. If you don't have your seatbelt on, the vehicle will beep at you really, really annoyingly. If you keep driving too fast or keep it off for too long, it'll continue to beep at you louder and increasing in amount. And it's kind of annoying sometimes. And I found out through kind of learning about my new truck, watching some YouTube videos, even look at the manual because I'm a little bit old school. But I found out that in the newer vehicles, not in the older vehicles, but in the newer vehicles, you can go in to that feature that's now digital and turn it off in your vehicle's digital settings. You can turn that beeping seatbelt off indicator off. It's weird. It's crazy. And I was just thinking, why would somebody want to turn the seatbelt safety feature off in their car? And then I was reminded, this isn't the Holy Spirit part yet, but then I was reminded about a friend who I know, maybe you know some people like this in your life, who refuse to wear seatbelts. I know a couple of them, and you probably do in your life as well. And it's crazy to me. I know this dude who specifically, purposefully refuses to wear his seatbelt when he drives. And it happened a couple times. He's my friend. I love him. But I decided, and I told him, I was like, hey, I can't drive with you anymore, man. That's reckless. That's crazy. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, you purposely, it's not just he's forgetful. It's not just, that he just sometimes doesn't do it. He rarely does it, almost never. And he purposely doesn't want to, even refuses to do so. I'm like, what? That's crazy, man. Like, you're going to die. You're going to die. There's a serious consequence for that choice in your life. And I was just kind of thinking through this, processing that thought when I found out that new feature, and then the Holy Spirit spoke to me. I don't know what you believe about that, but I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, Jacob, isn't it interesting how people do that with me? That's what the Holy Spirit said. He said, people do that with me. You see, we have this concept of freedom, especially as an American, and maybe other people too, but I'm specifically talking about the American context. We have this view of freedom where freedom means I can do whatever I want. I can do anything I want. I can say anything I want. I can act however I want. I can do whatever I want. People can't tell me I'm wrong. People can't debate with me. People can't tell me that I'm making a mistake, and I shouldn't experience any consequences from it. I'm free. I can do whatever I want, and I'm free from the consequences of my actions. That's what freedom has become in America today. It's very much like we're choosing to go into our settings in life and turn off the safety seatbelt feature. I can drive however I want. I can do whatever I want. I can be as reckless as I want. I can not wear my seatbelt, and I don't want the indicator to tell me that I'm wrong because I want to be free, and I want to have the freedom to drive however I want. But it just doesn't work that way. This life doesn't work that way. That's not the way it's set up. And no matter how much you want to fight against that, no matter how much your heart wants to rebel against that truth, it's just the facts. That's how life is. God does give us free will to do what we want and make the choices that we want, but we are not free from the consequences. We are not and shouldn't be free from people telling us, hey, that's a bad decision. Hey, that's wrong. Hey, that's dangerous. Hey, that's going to have some negative consequences in your life. But we so often turn the safety seatbelt feature off. We ignore God. We act like he doesn't exist. We claim that he doesn't exist. We ignore his word. We fight against his way of life, his rules that are protective for us. We fight against those. We say, I can do whatever I want. I'm free. And here's the thing about God. He does give us freedom. He does give us that free will to make that free choice. But he also says, here's the rules. Here's the manual. Here's the rule book. Here's the instructions. And they're not to withhold things from you. They're not to hold things back from you. They're not to restrict you in a hateful sense. They're there for your protection. The way God tells us to live life, the way God shows us to make decisions, the way God asks us to follow him and submit to his will is good for us. It protects us. It keeps us safe. And when we have our seatbelts on, when we have the indicator light on that tells us to put our seatbelt on, it's so that we can enjoy a road trip with our best friend. That's the whole point of this. It's not to restrict us. It's not to make life hard and difficult. It's so that we can enjoy a safe road trip with our friend. And so I'm asking you, I'm challenging you to challenge that thought in your mind, especially if you're a non-Christian, especially if you're on the fence about religion, the Bible, God, church, etc. Like that's who I hope is watching this video. And I want to challenge that. Is your freedom, is your free will and your free choices to do whatever you want in life, is that really living up to the expectation that you hoped for? Do you really feel freedom? Or is it causing the world around you to collapse in a horrible tragedy? I hate to say it, but that's just what happens when we live our life without God and when we ignore him and ignore his way of life. And so I'm challenging you, though, on the flip side of that, if you do follow God, if you do put your seatbelt on, if you do allow that indicating light and sound to go off and say, hey, hold on, that's a mistake, that's a bad decision, that's going to lead to negative consequences in your life. If you have that on, it's for your protection. It's for your freedom to enjoy life, to enjoy a relationship with God, to experience the blessings that he gives, to experience the freedom that he gives, the freedom from sin, the freedom from awful mistakes, the freedom from hateful selfishness, the freedom from hurting other people, and the freedom for living your life with him, because it's so much better when you do. I hope that encourages you today. Thank you if you stuck along. I really love you guys, and I just want to share with people what Jesus is sharing with me. Put your seatbelts on and enjoy a road trip with your best friend. Love you. We'll see you soon.